Hey Todd, a couple things here. I got your email. I wasn't around on Friday anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But I got your email here now. But I still gonna need some more information. We're gonna have to work together on this. So here's a little show and tell. First and foremost, let me show you how I have, like for instance here, I just searched for Todd. When I first started your first one, I called it 501. 500 series is NASDAQ for me. So I just throw everything in 500 at that case. I started you with 501A because that was the first one I sent you. You sent me this B one, which I suppose I could delete right now. But I re-enabled that. I re-enabled that B right here. So that's yours. And now mine is C. This one you're looking at now is C. Just a few minor changes. And I'll change the chart size. Right now I'm doing it on a 13.2, but we could tweak that and see what we want to do with it. So we'll change that when the time comes. But in any event, so this chart here has got your 50, your big one, your 50, and the 13.2 is the smaller one that I like, but you know we could beef that up to 21 or whatever. Anyway, so I took off NASDAQ, or I took off VWAP only because it's not part of the rules in here, so I just got rid of it. I did leave high and low of the day, the shark teeth. But the only rules I have in here, so there's your two EMAs. The only rules I put in, and you can see them over here too. So the only rules I put in here is that EMA 1 has to lead EMA 2 to get a short. So that's one condition. The other condition is the bar, not the wick, but the price bar has to be leading EMA 2. So you notice here, these are lined up, and as soon as the bar is no longer leading and it touches the bar, it turns off. As soon as a full bar gets underneath it, then we're good to go and we can collect it. Now, the order I put in here is going to put an order at the black line, the EMA 1. Now we could tweak that, but you know, you're talking about putting it somewhere in here, so we can, if you want a middle ground, we could do a middle ground, or we could do wicks, or there's other things we could do. But right now, I just said, as long as you know we have to be under and all that, we'll get a pullback here, and we'll get it. Once we get over here, then we don't want it anymore. That's the only rule I have to turn it off. So one of my questions I have is, what is going to turn it off? So you'll see what's going to happen is we're going to be in red here because it meets our two rules. We'll take a trade and we'll hit our target, but then if we're still in the red, it's going to instantly put on another order at this black touch trigger because that's what we have this EMA 1 set at, as the touch trigger. So we need to come up, or maybe not. We just keep taking trigger, or we just keep taking orders until it no longer qualifies, or but that you're going to lose one. So right here, for instance, you're going to get in here. You're going to get in. I don't know what the stops are right now. I just put on 100 and then 50 for the stop. So we would have gotten stopped out for sure. But let's say we get in here, okay, and it's going down, everything's fine, and our stop is above this pivot, let's say. So now we get stopped out right here, but it's still red, so it's going to put on another order, and we've already surpassed it, so it's going to trip it right there instantly. So we have to kind of figure out what's going to stop this, but let's just kind of see what happens.
Order submitted.
Okay, so now it'll move in a second as soon as it calculates, but needless to say, so we're waiting for this pullback, which should pull down. Okay, so you'll see it over here. There we go. I think there it's moving. What I had it here is I had it set for the 50 and 57. I just call it 57. At the bar. If you notice, I required 0 wicks. So that's why it's going to the bar, because it exceeds this one. If I turn that off, or if we change it a different size, then it will follow the 17. So I guess the missing component is what do we want it to follow? You say somewhere in the middle. This is going to be, right now it's set to go at the bar's end, if that's what you want, which would take it right there, smack in the center. Now that's going to change as we go forward. So let's just go forward and we can see where it's going to change a little bit.
Order submitted.
So there's a 50 stop, 100 target. And this is what I was talking about. I don't know what the target, we haven't talked about targets or anything, but let's say we get out here and you'll see what's going to happen. So let's say we take a little bit here.
Entry zone.
Okay, so there's a stop. It just found a pivot. I don't know if you heard it or not, but it found the pivot and the ching down there. So that's setting there, and I forget what the numbers are, but it's there. Okay, so what I really want to do is take some target here. Okay, there we go. All right, so we hit our target, and now you see we're set up again at the same spot. So one of these are going to lose. At some point, it's just going to keep going straight up, and it's going to take this with it, and it's going to pop us out. Or do we want something in here that turns it off? And what would that be? See, we're not going to capture it. See, now this, like I said, this could be a loser. Right there, it's a loser. So we didn't. And now here we go. Now we've reversed. Our EMAs are in the opposite order, and now we're doing right there at the end of the bar. And you had mentioned you really didn't want the end of the bar. You kind of wanted. Let me turn this off here. You wanted. I can't. Okay. You wanted it maybe like right here. So if that's the case, I could fine tune that a little bit. If I could actually do that right now. Let's just see what this does for a minute. There's the loser. And now we get the apologies, right? See, there, when you start getting in chop like this. Now I don't have chop box on, but point when you start getting chop like this, it's going to put them on and put them off. So we need more rules to specify. We could even do more EMAs. What's going to specify turning this off? So we're going to do it right at the end of the bar. That's what you were talking about, but you wanted it kind of before that. So let me come back and make a tweak. I'll come back and we'll compare it. So I'll take a picture right now, and then we'll come back and check it out. Okay. Okay. So here's the new place, and what I did is internally. So right now we had the 50. So let's just blow this bad boy up. How do I get over here? There we go. Okay, so this is what that was prior. It was right at the end of, or the open price, and I had 0 for a wick pullback. And it put us right at the end of the bar, which you really didn't want. So now, internally, I've changed the number to a 40, even though everything's still running on a 50. You can see here, here's the 50, and there's the bar level, and that's what it was doing. And now here's a 40, and you could see we're right there. Okay, so let me get rid of this. And that's where we are. So the question is that where we want to be? Now what I could do is if we want to go 1 tick more, I could do 40 plus 1 tick. I could do 40 plus 2 ticks, 40 plus 10 ticks, if you want to get back to that 50 area. So I could do a 50 with a 0 tick, or I could do 40 with a 10 tick and kind of get the idea here. So anyway, this is it right here. So it's 40 ticks, 0 wick on a 40 tick bar. So let's run this for a second. Again, all the rules are going to be the same. It's just going to take it a little sooner than you want. And what we need to do is just look at your MAE and find out how much heat you normally take on these. And if you take enough heat most of the time, well, we have room to let it pull back then. You might miss a couple, you can look at that, the ones that go and only give you a 1 or 2 tick and then they take off. Well, you're not gonna ever get those with a deeper pullback. But all the ones that pull back deeper, you'll just shorten up your MAE and you'll be able to get in a better fill.
Entry zone long.
So there's another cycle. Price bar got above the number 2. All right, so let's go a little faster.
Entry zone.
Order canceled.
All right. Well, that stinks. Well, that's the trumper stop. All right, here we go. So now we got the apology trade. So now we're going the opposite direction. So what we need to start thinking about now is this chop business. And you can get chopped up in I don't care what size chart you use, you're going to get chopped up. So we might want to consider looking at that chop box a little bit.
Entry zone short.
Order submitted.
Jeez.
Order submitted.
Well, the other thing too is I don't have any stop management on her. So at what point I've got a 100 tick target, but the only thing in stop management is have the pivot trailing
Order
stops. If
submitted.
there's no pivot, it's just
Order
it's
submitted.
gonna keep going straight.
Order submitted.
So I would assume we're gonna go to break even at something. There's a pivot.
Stop failed. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Entry zone short.
Look at your placement. I think that's what you were kind of asking about. It's always going to get that last one that fails. Always. At this point, right now. There's no reason why it wouldn't. It qualified, so it's in. Now if we get stopped out, it won't qualify. So we need another disqualifier in there.
Entry zone long.
Order submitted. Stop failed. Order submitted.
All right. So anyway, you can kind of see where we're going with that. We could do whatever we want to do. So I'll send you the template. I'll send it to you with this one that you wanted. A little just shy of the reversal bar. Now, again, define a reversal bar. A reversal bar to me is a full reversal bar like this green one right here. It's the bar plus a double and it reverses. So you're saying you kind of want it at the end of where the open is. So this is like 10 ticks before the open. I'm assuming that's what you want. Or did you want to come all the way back to here to get in? I'm assuming based on your email and your picture that you sent me, this is where you want to get in. So you have to let me know. Yeah, I gave you my phone number so you can text or call me.
Order submitted.
All right. Now we're paused, so it's not going to take the other one, but it would. It'd be in right away because it qualified. So
Entry zone long.
anyway, not bad.